Start recording audio and video. All right, all the buttons are pushed. It's time. There's no going back. Everybody just sit down and get ready for a regular TMS episode, which begins in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, welcome to Urgent Care. I'm the doctor. Hi, yeah, I think my arm hurts a lot. You're lying. Anyway, here's some cocaine for your female hysteria. That'll be $900.
Gizmo likes it, don't you?
Guillermo.
This is the morning stream. It's just what the doctor ordered.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to TMS. It's Friday, November 13th, Friday the 13th, 2020. I'm Scott Johnson with Brian Ibbett. I know. Ooh, Brian. Ooh. Oh, man. Don't go to the lake. Whatever you do, don't have sex with teens. That's good advice in general, though.
Yeah, don't do that. Unless you yourself are a teen.
If you're a teen, I'm not here to judge.
Then have sex with other teens.
Talk to your parents, make sure it's something you want to do.
That's true. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't just
get some protection, we're not here to steer you in one direction or the other. We're just saying teens are going to be teens. You go do your thing.
We're already putting the PM into TMS PM.
Yeah, we kind of are.
Throwing it right in there. Yeah.
Today is weird. It's we're in the PM time slot, just a little earlier than normal, but this is not a PM. This is a makeup from yesterday, and it's to the wider public. It's on the main feed. Everyone will get it. What happened, you ask? Well, just the brief story was my internet went weird, and about every 9 months, my uploads die. And I don't know why, and they always take 4 or 5 days to figure it out, and then it just kind of goes away. So I'm in the middle of that right now, and I'm currently using some backup DSL bandwidth to get this done, and it's working.
Good thing you've got that.
Yeah. I feel like I kind of hate that I have two of them when nothing's wrong.
Yeah, right.
But then the minute it goes wrong, I'm like, oh, that's why I got this.
It's basically like, God, I hate paying for insurance. And then once you need to use your insurance, like, oh boy, I'm glad I've got insurance. Otherwise, this would have cost a fortune.
Yep, this is ones
and zeros. That's the way to think about it.
Yeah, it's how you have to. So that's what we're doing.
So really, your internet connection thought yesterday was Friday the 13th.
Oh.
And decided to do the Friday the 13th thing yesterday.
Oh, that's fine with me if it screwed up. That's fine. Because now we can do it for real, and it has no idea that it screwed up. That's fine.
Right.
I mean, I assume days are sentient and can think like humans. So
yeah, that's 100% accurate.
Yeah, that's my understanding of how it works. But anyway, we're here, and it's a good thing because next week we're not, and I wanted to make sure we at least got our Thursday edition and crammed it into a Friday. So welcome, everybody. It's great to have you here, and thank you for being here. We have a quick follow-up and then a very special moment we're going to have together.
Ooh, a special moment.
The follow-up on the bees, whether you'd eat the bees or not. Remember that?
Yes, that guy, right, the guy asking us if we eat how much bees we can have in our bee vomit.
Yeah. So I think it was bees? 12 or 16 bees or whatever it was. I don't remember the number. But
yes.
Yeah. The follow-up comes from somebody named Concord, which if that's your real name, badass. Cool name, man.
Yeah. How does it feel carrying Phil Collins back and forth to Live Aid?
Oh, geez. Did he fly in a Concorde for that? Is that a story?
He did. That's how he was the only artist to perform at Wembley Stadium for the beginning of Live Aid, and then in Los Angeles for the end of Live Aid. So he performed at both venues because he took the Concorde and flew from one to the other.
He's a rarefied human being with his fancy flight plans.
And he's also got a groovy kind of love.
Yeah, he does. I've heard that.
But now, unfortunately, because his wife kicked him out, he's living in a Stu studio apartment. That's I can't take credit for that joke. That's Michael Che, but I love it.
It's pretty good. Nothing wrong with repeating that.
They're currently fighting over their house right now.
Are they? Gosh dang it. Yeah. I feel bad for people that can't get along,
Yeah.
Marriage is cool. Stick it out.
Yeah.
All right, anyway.
It just wasn't another day in paradise.
Well, here's what we're almost out of songs. You got any?
We are, yes.
I'm all for him. So if you got another one, I'm all here. I'm here for you. I get whatever you need.
So Take Me Home. I'm sure that the last song on his No Jacket Required album. I'll give you that one. And now I'm done. That's all yours.
What about hear it coming in the air tonight or smell it? Was it?
Oh, yeah, in the air tonight. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's one.
And if you know anyone, he's currently looking for an easy lover.
Oh, Easy Lover. I remember that song now.
Yeah.
Well, you've reminded me of all the old hits. Here's this email from Concord. He says, it was adorable hearing how many bees you would allow in your mouth on the show yesterday. Just watch this guy and then maybe answer the question from yesterday now. All right, so he's a little snarky, this guy, but I'm going to go ahead and do his advice.
Have you not watched this video yet?
I have not. Oh,
fantastic. I'll give it to the chat room. I guess you're putting it on the stream, right?
Yeah, they're seeing it.
Okay.
So it's a bunch of bees at the timestamp. It's forwarded a little bit. The guy's got a handful of bees. What's he doing with the bees? Oh, Lord. What's he going to do? No. What do we... He's not really. He is!
He is shoving bees into his mouth by the handful.
Why?
Yeah, that is the question.
To what end?
Well, so he can get a lot of views on YouTube, I guess, maybe?
That's horrifying. Oh, I got to send that to Nick. He'll lose his mind. He hates bees. That is so weird. Why would you put a bunch of bees? Hold on. Is there a description here? Indian man stuffs his mouth with hundreds of live bees in this shocking video caught on camera. Where else would it be caught on? Caught on camera.
Right. Caught on wax cylinder.
I don't see anything else. Are there comments? Hold on, show more. Okay, professional honey collector Suk Muhammad Dali. I can't read this. Okay, here we go. Age 32, resident of Kranjamanjapur village in West Bengal. He has been collecting honey for the last 16 years, but what makes him different from others is the way he goes about his business. While the usual way involves applying smoke around the comb to drive away the bees, Suk Muhammad's method is hands-on. It starts off with the usual smoking, but it's usually followed with him jamming this in his mouth? Hold on. According to visuals of his stuffing his mouth full of honeybees. Later, he repeated the same. Oh, he put a bunch in his shirt.
Of course.
He was also seen cutting a hole in the middle of the honeycomb to put in his head, though while the bees buzzed around his face, once he's done collecting the honey, Sulk lets out the bees from his shirt. What about his mouth?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, no, they're in my shirt. I guess we're like, oh, no, they're in my shirt.
That's really freaking weird.
Get them out of my shirt.
That is horrifying. So if any of you who are just joining us for the first time, live video, we don't normally show people eating bees on the camera, okay? That's not normal for us. So I blame Concord, if that is his real name. I'm guessing now not, since he sent this anonymously, or since he sent bees going on.
He does not want blame for it.
Maybe this is how Candyman reloads. You know, he's got to.
Oh, exactly. It's like we're watching Candyman in reverse.
Yeah. How do you think he's got all those bees to let out of his mouth? He's got to put them in there in the first place.
Is this what happens if you say Mandycan 5 times fast?
Yes.
Or 3 times fast? It's 5 times for Candyman, right? 3 times for Beetlejuice?
5 Candyman, 3 Beetlejuice, and 3 for Bloody Mary, I think.
Oh, right, yeah.
So 3, 3, and 5. I don't know why it's 5 for Candyman. I think maybe they were just trying to be different. But the law of threes is always in effect, so I don't know why they did that.
There you go.
Anyway, horrifying, terrible, and you're all welcome for what I've done.
Somebody send that video to Virginia Madsen. I'm sure she'd like it.
Yeah, can you get on that? Oh my gosh, I forgot she was in that. Every time you bring that up, I'm reminded and go, oh yeah, right.
Yeah,
she's in that, or was
she is in that.
Yeah, she went on to better.
And then
things.
she was in Sideways with guy slapping his wiener on the.
They're making a new one, which I'm excited about. But instead of talking about
Sideways?
that, yeah, they're making a new. No, they're making a new Candyman.
Oh, a new Candyman! You're saying?
Yeah,
you're saying
with the
there's a new Candyman. You see?
Yeah, a new Candyman. You see, and it's with the Peele guy. Jordan Peele's making it.
Oh yeah, Jordan Peele's doing it. Right, exactly.
Not the other one. They don't talk anymore. No. Just kidding. I'm sure they're still friends. All right, we're gonna play this now. Check this out right here.
I think science is cool.
I also think science is cool, and so we brought on a foremost expert in the area, or at least somebody who does a lot of commentary about the world of science. Welcome to the program, Mr. Bobby Frankenberger. Hello, Bobby.
Yay!
Hey, how are you guys?
Good, man. How are you?
Good.
Did you ask how I was doing?
Yeah. How are you
Yes,
doing?
You cut off there for a second. Yes.
Apparently, I'm very distracted right now.
Well, you sure can be. It's not a problem. You may know Bobby's voice from a previous season or last season, in fact, of ANTP, where he took a blistering second place at the end. And
Blistering.
I voted
Wow.
for you, so you got my vote. I demand a recount, and we're all in the mood for recounts. Let's go ahead and do a recount of Bobby's votes. But,
Or you could just claim the win. Do you want to just claim the win? You can just
you can
claim
just
it.
say you
You're
got
offering
it.
it. I claim it. Yeah.
Yeah, then we'll drag you out kicking, screaming around the 20th of January. Anyway, it's good to have you here. We actually thought it would be cool to bring Bobby on. It was his suggestion, and I was like all for this, to kind of get a better perspective on the COVID-19 supposed state of vaccine that we keep hearing about. There's a lot of talk about it. I keep hearing stuff on the news. This one's 90% effective, or this other one gives it to you, but you only have it for 2 days. And it's a lot of stuff and not a lot of context. And now we're going to get some of that. So let's dive in. First, can you tell us what is the status? Like that Pfizer one, let's start with that. Where is that thing? And what does it mean for me and you and everybody else who needs a shot in the bum?
Right. Well, so the Pfizer one is the one that everybody's talking about because they just published their interim clinical data, which basically means they're at least part of the way through, and in Pfizer's case, most of the way through their phase 3 clinical trials, and they're ready to report on something. The FDA has said, okay, you can give this data out. You've got enough now. You can start telling people about it. And the big news headline is that the vaccine is 90% has 90% efficacy, and so that sort of means that if of the people who would normally have gotten the virus, 90% of them will not if they take this vaccine.
If they get this first and it has whatever time it needs to do its thing, you should have antibodies by the time you come into contact with actual COVID-19 is the idea.
Yes, exactly.
How does this compare
it would-
to like flu stuff and that sort of thing? Because how does that? I don't know how that goes every year, but is that only about a 90% efficacy, or is it worse? Is it better?
I'm actually not 100% sure on the flu vaccine efficacy. That one's really difficult because, as you probably are aware, lots of people know that the flu vaccine, the strain changes constantly, and they're reformulating the flu vaccine every year. So we really usually don't know until after the flu season is over how effective it was.
Yeah, and it's usually like this is what we think the flu strain is going to be kind of thing, because it takes such a long time to get the vaccine together that it might change between the time they create it and the time they shoot it in your arm.
Yeah, but if you're looking for a perspective on what that 90% means in terms of like is that good? Is that bad? Well, the FDA the requirement for a coronavirus vaccine was only 50% efficacy.
Oh, I didn't know that. That seems like a low bar, doesn't it? A little bit.
Well, probably that was specifically set for this one because of the emergency situation that we're in.
Yeah,
Okay.
Right.
So they didn't want to wait too long for vaccines to be able to get out there. Now, keep in mind, efficacy is not the same as safety, so it can be only 50% effective and be very safe. And that's a different thing. But another number is that even better than that is that experts were expecting this particular Pfizer vaccine to only be about 75% effective, and so we're going beyond even that. So this is very good news so far.
It is good news. Now, when everybody always wants to say when. I assume some of the vaccines from this will start hitting, I don't know, end of year, which we're rapidly approaching end of year here. But obviously you're going to take a lot longer to roll out everywhere. What's your bird's eye on that?
So Pfizer has a deal with the United States government to the government's paying for they're paying for altogether about 1.3 billion doses of the vaccine, and that's going to cover about 600 million people because it's a 2-dose vaccine. You actually have to get it and then 3 weeks later get another. Sort of the same as if you guys both have kids with the MMR vaccine that kids get. You always need a booster after that.
Right.
So,
My van just had one of those where he had a 3 or 4 week gap between 2 different shots. I don't know what they were, but There's several that are like that. So this particular one is going to be that way. The one from Pfizer, anyway. There's several companies that are working on vaccines, and we can talk about that in a minute if you want. But
100 million of those doses are planned to be starting to, get out by the end of the year. So already, because
that's higher than
Pfizer,
I thought they'd be way lower than that, but 100 million is, well, it's a third of the U.S. That's not bad, but I assume other countries want in on this, and they're going to all want it at some point.
Yeah, and does Pfizer,
USA.
Pfizer does, yeah, of course, us first. But Pfizer does have deals with other countries. I think the UK, Canada, Germany. This was created by a company called BioNTech, which is a German company. So you'd expect that in the US and Germany, they're probably looking to get those first, but it's up to Pfizer. One of the cool things about this vaccine, everybody keeps talking about Operation Warp Speed and how that has like influence on how all this stuff is rolled out and everything. But one of the neat things about Pfizer is they didn't take any Operation Warp Speed money. They did this all on their own.
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard everybody keeps trying to assign, not blame, but they're trying to assign
credit.
Credit. There's the word I meant,
Yeah.
for it being a part of that, but it was never a part of that, right? Or they just said, well, look, we've got the resources to do this on our own. We have our own workflows. We have our own stuff. We're just going to do this.
Right.
It's
the only deal that Pfizer has with the U.S. government is for purchasing.
Right.
They've purchased those 1.3 million doses, and they haven't given any money for the development for the warp speed money, and also they aren't handling any of the distribution either. This vaccine is going to have very complicated distribution requirements.
Okay, let me ask you this. So
it has to be, it has to be kept at negative 90 degrees or negative 70 degrees or something?
Degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
So
some
not
real
at your
picky
local
stuff.
Walgreens, probably. They don't have the facilities for that.
I'm off to the
funny that you say that.
CVS. Let's see how this goes this afternoon.
Well, it's funny that you say that because you would think that, okay, so that means your local pharmacy chains, they're not going to have them. But that's not entirely the case. There's a good chance that when they start to roll out, you might be able to get them at a CVS or a Walgreens because just because they need to be kept that way, that's to keep them indefinitely. You have to have it at minus 94 Fahrenheit.
Oh, 94. I see.
But they can be stored from, I think, around minus 4 Fahrenheit for up to 5 to 10 days. Now, that's, again, why there's a logistical concern, because they've got to have it in this sort of ready-to-be-distributed form, get it out into local warehouses, and then find a way to get that in trucks just-in-time delivery to the hospitals and pharmacies and clinics that are going to store them, probably not at the temperature they need to be stored at.
Is there anything to all this talk I've heard that each dose is costing the U.S. government about $1,200 per dose? Does that sound right?
No, it's actually, I think, about $19.50 per dose.
Oh, that's a lot less than $1,200.
Yeah. And so per person, that's about, what, $38, $39 per inoculated person,
oh,
probably.
right, because it's doubled up, right, because you're doing two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, I want to be clear to all of your U.S. listeners, that is not going to cost U.S. The government has worked out an agreement, because they have paid for this in advance, that it's going to be free to U.S. citizens.
Right.
So everybody in the United States is going to be able to get it for free, and that's really good news. So.
It's very good news. It would also be an incredible slap in the face if they said everyone in the U.S. needs to spend $65 on
$40 to get
after
it. Yeah,
how shittily this whole thing has been run. So yes,
Pfizer-
it's the right thing.
Pfizer is getting a lot of crap for it, though, because they have already out and out said that the deal that they had with the government, they are planning to make a profit off of this. And there are other pharmaceutical companies who have said, our vaccine that we are developing, we are just charging, at cost.
Right.
Well, and they can't. There's no. Okay. This is a lot like copyright, right? Like Pfizer's making their version. They're not sharing that, right? It's just them, and everyone else has to come up with their own.
Yeah,
that's obnoxious. Like, I get it that they're a for-profit company. I get that Pfizer's in the biotech industry, and I get that they, have to find ways to make their money. I understand that, but in this particular case, and not just Pfizer, whoever, like, if somebody finds it, I understand he was like a Hungarian German immigrant guy that figured it out at Pfizer, whoever it was. Everybody wants to think it was a dude draped in an American flag somewhere on the freaking Capitol, but
right.
It's this dude who came up with it or figured it out for them. It seems to me it would be expedient on a worldwide level to say, we've done a thing that will literally save hundreds of thousands, millions upon millions of lives.
Yeah.
So let's not be dicks this time, and let's spread it around and get everybody making it. Like, I don't understand that kind of thing. That just boggles my mind.
Not pharmaceutical companies. It's not like they have lots of money.
Right.
Yeah, they have no
barely.
money.
Those guys are poor guys are barely getting by.
Oh, Brian, they're barely scooching around. They're barely making it.
Eking a living. So is this something, I know, obviously it's COVID-19. Will this cover COVIDs 1 through 18 as well? No, just kidding. But actually, kind of on that same note, when COVID-21, the strain rears its ugly head next year, if a strain rears its ugly head next year, will we have to go through all this again? Or is there a way to get, is the vaccine an inoculation? I guess is the differentiation I'm trying to make. Can we wipe this thing out like polio? Or is this going to be like the flu, where every year we're going to have to get our flu shot and a COVID shot?
Well, to add to that, I mean, this is and correct me if any of this sounds wrong, but it's a novel virus, meaning it's unique and new and all that. We don't have immunity to it. Right. But flu, it's still in the same family as flu. Like they're still kind of sharing the same, hateful DNA roots. But the point is that one of them, like flu, you get it, and then maybe you got a flu shot, but you get a slightly different version. Like, to add to Brian's question, is this the kind of thing that right now we can look at and say, well, that's COVID-19, but is it going to spread out like a bunch of roots and become a COVID-1000 and be all these different versions of it that we have to worry about?
Well, okay. So the short answer to that question is yes, it will change. There will be new ones. It already has. This virus is SARS-CoV-2. It's the first one was SARS-CoV-1. Or I guess they just called it SARS. It was OG SARS-CoV.
Was it really OG, or is that the nickname you're giving because it's the original gangsta?
That's what I'm coining right
good.
now.
Oh, bummer. I was really hoping it was OG.
No. So it will mutate, and it'll change, and it has mutated already. There are several strains that exist right now already, but the good news about that is that it doesn't seem to be the variations between the genetic the virus seem to be small right now, and so they're able to be worked with, which is really good news for the vaccines that are being in development also, because that means they're likely to be able to work for lots of different strains all at the same time.
Oh, that's good.
But it's possible. I want to focus in on the question that you had, Brian, about like, are we going to be able to be inoculated by this? Because this is, I think, an important point. This is something that the experts are talking a lot about now, which is how as you might imagine, it's a complicated answer. But to sum it up as best I can, I am not a virologist,
Sure.
but it really depends on a lot of things, but primarily how long does the immunity last when we give this vaccine? People are hoping that it lasts as long as 6 months, which would be great. But a lot of people are looking at more like 3 or 4 months, which doesn't sound great, which means we probably won't be able to wipe the virus out. Which means, and Fauci has been talking about this more, and you hear experts talking about this more, which means we're likely looking at what's called an endemic virus. And what that means is that it's probably going to be with us indefinitely. Like
perpetuity.
Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to be having to wear masks and social distance like we are now forever. What it means is that we're just going to have to keep an eye on it, and we'll probably have to get, in addition to your yearly flu virus, we'll probably have to work in some sort of, COVID-19 vaccine.
It's like people who get whooping cough inoculations and stuff like that every couple of years or whatever it is.
But probably a lot more frequent, probably annually.
Yeah. As long as it's not anally, I'm fine. Do it annually, but not anally.
Hey, whatever.
Look,
you have to get the shot yet.
Oh, I was going to tell you, Bobby. This is fun news for you as a guy who covers a lot of science stuff. My daughter today was asked so she goes to the University of Utah. She's a student and she works there. They're all remote these days, but her and her entire department were asked, plus all the student body or anybody who's enrolled were asked to volunteer. Although I think employees were kind of mandated to do it because that was just, hey, part of your job is you're going to do this for us. But I think the students were volunteers. But anyway, the idea today was that in all these different locations, go get COVID tested. They're trying. Okay. They got a big grant from the government, local government, to try to figure out some stuff. Don't know what. I think it's mostly about asymptomatic carrying and stuff like that. Sure. And so Carter had to go do it along with a bunch of her friends and people that she works with today. And it was all drive up. Here's what was different. For this study, they're using the exact same test they would for anybody getting the test. But they've moved to not taking you in your car and having you roll down your window and shoving that thing up your nose. They're making you shove it up your nose. You're doing it
you have
to
to
yourself.
shove it up your own nose.
Yeah.
Apple's doing this too.
My wife is a pharmacist at CVS, and they do COVID testing, and that's what they do is they just, you drive up to the drive-in window at a pharmacy, and they've got the drawer that they send out with,
right.
They just shove the
bank
kit in there. Yeah. They shove the kit in there, and they stand through the window without, through the speaker, and they're like, all right, so you're going to have to shove that up your nose and
deeper.
That's what they kept telling her.
She says say all the time. They're like, nope, that's not far enough.
I mean, there's one thing. Sure, one thing when a medical professional does a thing to you. It's like, oh, well, that's what they do. They're supposed to. They're supposed to put their finger up my butt or whatever. But in this case, here, do it to yourself.
Right. Stick your finger up your own butt. Check your own prostate for a change.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. I can't even imagine doing that. Like, I can't even fathom the idea of checking my own.
Yeah.
Ugh. Anyway, so I got a large question here to ask that may or may not have an answer to. I'm not sure, but is it going to be, and how well can we know this, but is it going to be safe for people to take this vaccine?
That's a question that's been on people's minds for a long time. So even before the announcement of this vaccine, when they started talking about how phase 3 trials were starting from a bunch of these different companies, people were saying, well, is it even going to be safe? This is so fast. What was the number? The fastest vaccine before all this was like the measles vaccine, and took 4 years. Mm-hmm. How can one that takes 9 or 10 months, be good? Aren't you cutting corners and all that kind of stuff? The short answer is that yes, it's almost certainly safe. In fact, the data that has come out from this has said that they haven't seen any safety concerns at all yet.
That's good.
Which is good, which is great. Mm-hmm. But we could have probably predicted that it was going to be safe. And the reason is, like, the 9 months thing, it's not as fast as you think it is. It seems fast when you just look at it and you think, oh, well, they just started working on this vaccine 9 months ago and then now they're done. But like the vaccine... First of all, there's a couple of things that went into making it so fast. First of all, is it's not like we've never seen a coronavirus before. Mm-hmm. So scientists already kind of knew about these viruses, and they know a lot about them and how to handle them, and knew where kind of to start. So that gave them a little bit of a head start. The second thing is that the delivery mechanism, because this very exciting, this Pfizer vaccine is using a brand new type of technology called mRNA-based vaccines. It's pretty cool. But they'd been working on this technology since the 90s. They know how it works. It's just getting it to work on this. Now, a lot of people are wondering about the government involvement, how a lot of people felt like, okay, the government was speeding up the whole process. Well, I already said that the Pfizer vaccine, they didn't take any of that money. Mm-hmm. But even the companies that did, like maybe Johnson & Johnson and AstraZeneca and some other big pharmaceutical companies that are working on vaccines who did take the money, the thing is that all that the money did was allow the pharmaceutical companies to remove the risk that was going on. When you're developing a vaccine, you have all these phases of testing you have to go through. And at each phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, they only make enough of the test vaccine to do the test. And then after the test is done, they look at the results, determine whether or not they should move on to the next phase. And once they've made that decision, after lots of people debate and scientists go back and forth, then they say, okay, well, we're going to go into phase 2. So we need to make enough vaccine to do phase 2. So because they want to minimize the risk. They don't want to make a bunch of it and then it crap out and then they have to throw it all away. That's a lot of money.
Sure.
So the government said, let's speed the process up. Let's allow you to go ahead and make a ton of this stuff.
Yeah.
Whether it works or not.
Right.
and it takes a lot of the risk out of it, which speeds up the process. And they also allowed phase 1 and 2 trials to happen at the same time, which is fine because it was phase 1 is animal testing and phase 2 is initial human trials and small group trials. So they were able to do that at the same time, and that helped cut some of the time down too. So those are all the reasons.
Do you think we'll ever find out that one of the trials involved pink eye and a fly? Do you think that'll ever happen? No, probably not. Okay,
but hopefully not.
All right.
What is the likelihood of a zombie outbreak based on this vaccine?
I've been told not to talk about that.
And has anyone seen Pence in a while? All right. Well, that's very interesting. I have to admit, I've come into this sort of blind in terms of like knowing we know very little. Like all the headlines seem very brief, and it's all very, oh, great, Pfizer's got a thing. What does that mean? Okay, how soon? Like those basic questions are out there, but how effective it is, and the potential cost, or in this case, no cost to people here in the States. Like all of that stuff, I don't think that's as well known. So,
and there is a lot of stuff we don't know about this vaccine. So we know they haven't published all their data yet, and they're not done with the phase 3 trials. They'll be done probably within the next couple of weeks. But there's a lot we don't know yet.
Yeah. And
but that has to do with like how effective is it in particular subgroups of the population versus this group as a whole. Is it preventing? Does it also do a good job at preventing severe cases of COVID-19? Because we haven't seen any of those in the test data that they have. Mm-hmm. Ideally, you would like to see some severe cases pop up in the test groups, because that would give you data about the unvaccinated versus vaccinated group, how many popped up in each group, so you can say something about, does this also help with severe cases? And then other things like technically, I just found this out from looking at this data, but just because a vaccine will prevent you from getting COVID-19 does not mean that it will prevent you from spreading the virus.
Right.
Oh, okay, sure.
So we don't know yet whether this will stop the spread of the virus.
Right.
It may it'd prevent you from feeling any symptoms, but you may still carry the virus to be able to spread it to somebody else.
You can still be a carrier. Exactly.
Wow. Okay.
Well, that's the other thing they don't know yet, right? Like whether or not people who have had it truly don't have it again, either as symptomatic or as just a carriage. Like that stuff's still kind of a mystery.
Yeah.
And I think that's partly what they were doing with these students, by the way, is they were trying to not look for carriers in their age groups, but also how many of you have had it, and if they can correlate any cases that they show positive yet they've already had it. Like they're trying to figure all that out.
Yeah, exactly. And Pfizer's not the only one working on a vaccine. Other companies are saying that they're ready to get one out by the end of the year too. So they're producing a lot of vaccine, like we talked about already. But other companies are going to be producing hundreds of millions of their own vaccine, and if they work out great, then we're likely to start seeing this start to. I mean, I hate to be like too optimistic, but I kind of I'm like we might be turning the corner of this around the beginning of the year if everything goes well.
Well, it is. I mean, it is definitely none of it's an overnight thing, right? It's impossible. Just like the spread was impossible overnight, but
and everybody still has to be good.
Right. We still got to be
good. Still got to
a
social distance. Still got to.
We got to be good in the first place. That'd be good if we could do that here in this country. They're shutting everything down again. All the schools are shutting down here. All the freaking everything.
Yeah, we had a big spike here in Denver. So, unfortunately, we're looking at. We might even be looking at a shutdown again out here because we've had such a spike.
Yeah.
I wish they would do it here, but in South Carolina here, we don't shut down for nothing.
We ain't shutting down. Well, you got Brian Dunaway.
Shut down. Shut up.
For some reason, I always think you're in California. Why do I think that?
I don't know.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I know you're in South Carolina.
He's
a
California voice and a South Carolina.
I think that's it. So whenever I talk to Bobby about time zones, I'm like, yeah, I think that's it's 12 here, it's 11 there, and I'm completely off the wagon.
Yeah, you gave me a Pacific time zone for this, and I was like, okay, I guess that's what you give people.
I love that you didn't. I'm kind of glad you didn't correct me because this is good show content. Anyway, well, this is great. Now here's the deal. I've made an executive TMS decision. Brian and the rest of the board, we're going to hear about it later, but I'll go ahead and announce it today. Okay. Whenever there is a significant or interesting bit of science floating around out there, we're bringing Bobby on and we're going to talk about it. So
let's do it.
New segment.
Fine.
Not
yeah,
a
of course it's a great idea.
Brian raises his hand in agreement. But I just love the idea of being able to have some sort of go-to out there when these sorts of stories come up, and it's more than just us, yapping, because we don't know. Brian and I don't know. We don't know. What do we know?
How do we know? What do we know? We don't know.
Nobody cares.
Well, I love talking about it. You won't get an argument from me.
That's
Science.
right. Here's what you need to do. Tell people where they can find other cool Frankenberger projects so they can catch up on your other stuff.
Well, I have a science podcast called All Around Science. You can get that just in all the places that you get podcasts. That's what you say. If you want to know, we go deeper into that on Monday's episode that's going to be coming out. We're going a lot deeper into exactly what we just talked about here, talking about more of the details, how they calculate all these things. And we did a whole bit on an early episode, I think it might have been the first episode of our podcast a while back, where we talked about how what are the different types of vaccines that are being developed. And this particular one, also the mRNA-based vaccines, what is that technology and why is it so cool and how does it work and stuff like that. So that's All Around Science. allaroundscience.com or wherever you get podcasts.
They should do an mDNA-based vaccine so that we can all get high. Well,
sounds like a great time. Will that go with some Crystal Method music playing while we get it?
Exactly. Can I have some Molly with my vaccine, please? Bobby, always a pleasure to talk to you and excited about what the future may hold for conversations just like this. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
See you, man. All right. I really like Bobby's take
Great
on
segment.
stuff.
I love that.
Yeah, it's great. And, it's not an every week thing, but when there's a thing and we don't know what we're talking about, we're having a
Science doesn't happen all the time. Science is very, very, very rare and limited that science happens.
Yeah.
So there's no point having him come on all the time.
Because there's never, this whole world, there's no science all the time. It's just us talking about stuff with no science
right,
involved.
Exactly. Jeez
Louises. All right, we're going to do
great
this.
job, Bobby. Thank you.
That was great. We're going to do this now.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I must go take my vitamins. Your news has upset me greatly.
We're going to do the news, and it's brought to you by
Coverville. Had an episode yesterday celebrating the 75th birthday of Mr. Neil Percival Young. That's right. His middle name's Percival. Why wouldn't you make that part of your name that you put out everywhere if your middle name was Percival? Classics like Needle and the Damage Done, Cinnamon Girl, and Rockin' in the Free World, performed by Simple Minds. Yes, you can hear it right after you listen to this show by going to coverville.com and checking it out. It went up yesterday. Listen to it whenever you want.
Yeah, it's a Thursday production now. So
that's right.
Go get it, you dummies.
I want to live with the Cinnamon Girl. We could be happy. I'm the kind of guy who really likes Neil Young songs, but I kind of like them more when they're not sung by Neil Young.
Yeah, me too. Like a cover. Well, like Coverville. This is where the perfect place to get your Neil Young without Neil Young in it. So I agree. He's just too. It's like, dude, all right, we get it.
Exactly.
My cat's whining now.
Dog's turning his head.
Here's a good one for you. Story for you. There was a body found in Canada, and it was identified as a neo-Nazi spam king.
Oh, so he makes a lot of dishes with spam. Like
yeah. Just spam food.
Zubi and
Hawaiian food.
That's the only spam dish I know.
You ever had spam-based sushi before? It's very good.
Yes, and you just can't call it sushi.
I agree.
It's spam and rice.
I agree. It's not. It's an unholy combination, but I like the taste of it. But you're right. You got to call it something else.
Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of spam at all. Tina and I decided to get a can of it just to try it out because we hadn't had it since we were kids, and I forgot how much you get like bone grit mixed in with the meat in spam.
Yeah,
comes up a lot. Happens you get a lot of that.
It's full of bone grit.
It's full of bone grit.
You're not
like,
wrong.
Oh, what is this? Why am I eating cartilage? We can afford actual meat. Why are we getting this?
Yeah, why are you even doing this? Like, I understand, like in tight times or World War II ration style, whatever. I get it.
Right, but we don't need that now.
No, not yet. Hang on to your spam. You might need it later.
Exactly.
Anyway, the body of a man shot inside and burned of a burned-out vehicle in Canada 3 years ago has been identified finally as that of Davis Wolfgang Hawk. He, at the time, was a prolific spammer and neo-Nazi who led a failed anti-government march on Washington. That was back in '99. Homicides detectives, they originally thought that the man found in the car June 14th, 2017, in a Torts SUV on a logging road in Squamish, British Columbia. Squamish.
Squeamish.
Is it
Very
really
squeamish in British.
Is it really Squeamish?
No, it's Squamish.
Is it Squamish?
It's Squamish, yeah.
It's a terrible name either way.
No, all they need is an E in there, and it would be Squeamish.
Very nice.
Yes.
He was also known as Jesse James on the internet. According to the report, a press conference held last month, let's see, DNA evidence linked missing persons investigation has confirmed the man's true identity as this Wolfgang Hawk guy.
More likely, he was probably known as Jesse James 15312 on the internet, because I'm sure a lot of people before him wanted that name.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you? Make it as long as that movie. The Coward Robert Ford, shot by whatever.
Right, exactly.
That's a good movie, by the way. I always bring it up, but I actually really like that movie.
I need to see it. I hear good things.
It's good. It says here, for many years, Hawk was a big-time purveyor of spam emails to help support his neo-Nazi stuff. That included hawking pornography and male enhancement supplements, such as Viagra. He'd reportedly bragged about the money he earned from spam, but told friends he didn't trust banks and decided to convert his earnings into gold and platinum bars. This guy'd be all about the freaking Bitcoin now, wouldn't he?
Yep.
The sparked rumors that he had possibly buried his ill-gotten gains on his parents' Massachusetts property. In 2005, AOL won a $12.8 million lawsuit against this dude for relentlessly spamming its users. A year later, AOL won a court judgment authorizing them to dig on that property, although no precious metals were ever found. But the neo-Nazi is dead, and it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I think the smartest thing you can do is tell your friends how much money you're making, and then tell them you don't trust banks.
Yep.
Like that combination will keep you alive and healthy forever.
Yep. Put it in your. It's like the guy I saw yesterday who put up on Twitter. I was so irritated with him. Some scalper who bought 30 or 40 PlayStation 5s, hoarded them basically, and then was selling them at a starting price of $900 for the discless version, and then the one with the drive in it was going to be like $1,200 or $1,800 or something.
Jeez.
As starting prices, right? So he's going to auction
Dickhead.
these. Total dickhead. So. I hate scalping. I hate it. It's just the worst thing ever. Well, the problem is he was so cocky about it on Twitter and made such a big stink about how he had all these and don't worry, this is only the first shipment and F your feelings, just come buy one. Like all this kind of a-hole talk. Somebody leaked his address. So now, I'm not saying doxing's good, but I am saying that guy's got, a couple $100 grand worth of hardware there, and maybe you shouldn't be so cocky about your freaking scam, maybe.
Yeah. If anyone goes and steals one of those, breaks in his house and takes them, I'll buy one for regular price, please.
Yeah. I'll just give you a regular retail price for an unopened.
I'll give you a regular
box.
retail price for an unopened.
There you go. But you're not going to pay $1,800 for that. Come on.
No, come on now.
This isn't some limited time thing. Sony's going to make these forever. So
exactly.
Lame.
They'll have stock in a month.
Yep, or less.
I'm fine waiting until then.
Maybe even less.
Maybe even less.
All right, moving on. A woman, age 91. She was stranded for 2 days after she fell at home. Okay, so she's an older lady, fell at home.
Okay.
Can't move. That's why they have the life alerts.
Yeah, that's right, because you might fall and you can't get up.
You can't get up, so you got to talk to that man in the ill-fitting uniform in that commercial. Don't worry, ma'am, we're on our way. I'm like, dude, freaking tuck your shirt in lower. What are you doing?
Do they make that shirt in your size?
I don't know why I always notice that, but that guy just is so not cool. Anyway, fell at home, and she ended up eating plant soil to survive.
Lots of iron, I guess.
Well, when there aren't bees around, go for the soil. Let's see. British woman.
Call back.
She relied on eating plant soil for 2 days in order to survive after she fell while at home. She was alone. She was unable to get up, according to local reports. Rosemary Frank is her name. She's a volunteer bus driver for Derrick County. Let's see. Wait, no, I'm sorry. Has volunteer driver Derek Cowdery to thank for saving her life. I made that all wrong. There is no Derrick County, and she didn't drive the bus. All right. Anyway, he decided to check on her when she missed her usual bus trip to her hair salon, according to the Worcester News. Yes.
Oh, that's nice. So, wow, the bus driver said, this is usually the day that I see her.
Yep. She was like,
oi.
I don't know how he talks. That's
really cool. A volunteer bus driver. Oh, so it's one of those like one of those accessorides. We have those out here.
Yeah, like old ladies
Yeah.
want to go gamble. You drive them out there, whatever.
or 50-year-old men.
Oh.
Nothing wrong with that. No,
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
Brian's been on one of these buses. I have.
No, I really
said too
haven't.
much.
But,
Okay. I could see you on it though at 75 or 80. I could totally see.
I
it.
totally will be.
Yeah,
Kidding
no
me?
problem. Who cares then?
The whole drive up, I'll be talking about. So, you see, when you're playing craps, you want to make the pass line bet because that's the one that's got the best odds.
Except like the other day, you'll call it the schmengi or something because you can't remember.
You got to bet. So there's the flop, and then the river, and then the schmingy. And you got to bet on the schmingy if you really want to make the money.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to this world that we don't yet occupy.
Yeah.
All right. So this lady was lying on the floor. I don't mean on the floor telling stories that weren't true. I mean she was lying on the floor. Where she had been there for 2 days. It says here, all I know is that today, if Derek hadn't gone out of his way to help me, I would be dead, she told the Worcester News. He saved my life. He is my knight in shining armor.
It's the Worcester News, by the way.
Oh, what'd I say? Worcester?
Worcester. It's a common thing, but it's you basically pronounce the first 5 letters as worse, and then the last 4 letters as stir.
Worcester.
And it's Worcester.
Okay. Like Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire sauce, exactly.
Is it sire or
Or as I
shire?
call it, what's this here sauce?
Okay, that's better. That's better.
Can I have some of that what's this here sauce?
Yeah. She says she doesn't remember anything except she talked with her daughter on Saturday night. Next thing she knew, it was Tuesday and she was in the hospital. She goes, I don't remember anything that happened in those 2 days or how I fell and injured myself. She says, quote, they found soil in my stomach, so I must have eaten some in desperation to stay alive. The plant was a gift from my son, so I'm very grateful for it. What's that? Oh, my new phone arrived. Thank you, Derek.
Ooh,
Did
is
they
that a
send us
Max?
sign or what? Yeah, I got
12
the Max.
Max Pro.
I got the Max this time just to see.
Yeah, Pacific Blue.
It's only an extra $5 on the payment thing, so I was like, I think I'm just gonna get that.
Yeah,
I was gonna
Pacific
do
Blue.
it
Did you
anyway.
get Pacific Blue? Did you get Pacific
Oh no,
Blue?
what did I do? I don't remember. Oh my gosh, I don't remember what color I chose.
Ooh, it's almost like a mystery unboxing.
Let's do it right now. Hold on.
Okay.
I need
all
something
right.
sharp. Oh, there's nothing sharp.
You don't need a sharp box. It's an Apple box. There's a little thing. There's a tab on the side you can pull.
It's taped.
No, there's like there. Look around the box on one of the corners. You'll see a little arrow tab thing.
Nope, none.
Oh,
Normally, you're right. It's not
the
here.
cardboard box on the outside for mine actually had a.
This has got normal-
Oh, they taped over that.
Yeah, I think they taped over it.
Yeah, because that would be right where it's at.
Okay, we're gonna learn together what Scott thought was a good color because he can't remember.
I would have bought the product red if it was available on the 12 Pro. It was not, sadly.
Oh yeah, that's right. They don't have it's on the regular there.
It's on the regular, yeah.
I also
Regular
like
phone.
that. Okay, here we go. Oh, okay, it's definitely the phone. Oh man, none of this is easy. Oh, okay, here we go. Well, that's big. Holy shit. All right, so we're gonna pull that back. Okay, now it's easy to open. Now we got all the easy openings, and we're gonna open it. Here. Oh, I got gold. I forgot I got gold. Oh, okay, that's interesting. So the gold. Oh yeah, so the gold part is all on the outside, right? Hold on.
Well, yeah, you don't want it on the inside because then you won't see it.
Can you see it? It's all shiny gold now.
Oh yeah, seriously, like the rim.
Yeah, the back is like the same gold as before, but the rim is like I don't know why I thought that seemed cool. It just seemed cool.
It is the aluminum band around the outside is just really, really cool.
Well, it's a big ass phone, so we'll see how that goes. All right.
Cool.
Sorry,
Are you gonna
thank for
do a
indulging.
case? Are you gonna just do a screen protector? What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna get a case. I really like these rubber transparent ones I get from I don't remember the brand, but they're like this.
Cool.
Like just a clear one. This is my previous phone.
If you are planning to use a MagSafe charger with that,
Oh, then you need
make
the one
sure
with the
you
hole,
get a
right?
case. Yeah, the magnetic disc thing. Make sure you get a case that is thin enough that it will still allow the magnets to connect.
Yeah, I haven't thought about that. Maybe I will do a charger. They're so expensive, those accessories.
They are,
Crazy.
but if you want it to charge fast with it, then it's like I was like, all right, I'll pay the extra $30 and get a
This is good point. Good point.
Get a good case.
Anyway, that lady's okay now. Oh yeah, look at you with the thing.
Yep.
What kind of case is
I've
it?
got it.
Is it the Apple one?
This is the Apple one, and then I 3D printed a little holder for the MagSafe. So this thing just goes. This is the one that obviously it's on my desk.
That's so rad.
It just goes chink, and it like holds onto it, and I don't even like. I could turn it this way, and this phone ain't falling off.
Yeah. No, that's
Great.
cool. Yeah, I forgot about the MagSafe stuff. Now I'm gonna have to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, here's what you do is. Well, I was gonna say you could get the cheap case and then just take it to the Apple store and try it out with their MagSafe charger and just see.
Yeah.
And then return it.
Did they say
Amazon
something
or
about? I know
whatever.
they got rid of the regular Lightning cable, but they.
No, they still do the Lightning. Oh, they just don't include one in the box. Yes.
Well, it's US. I got this cable. Maybe it's just because of the Max, but it's USB-C to Lightning.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, right. I'm sorry, they don't include the wall plug.
Oh, right.
It's
Yeah,
awesome.
that was their big saving on plastic thing. All right. Well, anyway, thank you, everyone, especially Android people. We know you hate this. Okay, moving on. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Dan, the tabletop man, will be joining us. Yeah, that's right. He's part of PM, but today's on an AM PM. So that'll be fun. I know. But we got to play a song before all that, and Brian is required to bring the song, so right now he probably has to prove that he wrote one. So what do you bring?
It's crazy and indie in the middle on a Friday. What? All right, this is cool. This is Mav Carlo, and what's cool about this song is that I'm pulling it up right now because I didn't have it ready. No, this is cool. So this guy's doing a Canadian tour, going across coast to coast in Canada right now on what's called the Socially Distanced Canadian Bubble Tour.
Whoa,
And
that's awesome.
The poster is actually the full name of the tour is the quote, "I drove here and slept in my car, and also I only peed on the side of the road, and I quarantined for 2 weeks, and the shows are all socially distanced tour."
Wow. All right.
This guy's awesome. And this is as Canadian as it gets, man. This is such a great song. The song is called Wire Walker. It's from his brand new album, Strangers Like Us. Here's Mav Carlo and Wire Walker.
All right. We'll be right back with Dan. Stay tuned.
Did you guys know that you can straight up die from eating peanut butter? Like, isn't that crazy? Like, not just peanut allergy type meat. Like, straight up peanut butter could be too thick for your esophagus, so you f***ing choke on it and die. So, yeah, say what you will about people with peanut allergies, but we could die from peanut butter. What's worse? I think we have just all been equalized.
Too stylish?
No.
Burn in hell, you little green bastard. This is the morning stream.
All right. Welcome back to the program, everybody.
Oh, no. Maybe you don't just eat the entire jar of Peter Pan at once. You know, if you spread it on a sandwich, you're probably not eating it fast enough for it all to lodge into your esophagus.
That's what I'm saying. Or eat it with an apple. The fiber from the apple will help push the peanut butter through your bum hole.
Exactly.
That's how that works, right?
I don't see any problem here.
No. Like who are they kidding? All right. Who are we doing now? Dan. We're doing Dan.
We're doing Dan.
Let's bring him in and have a chat. This is just his normal time today. That's what's great about
it. It is. Right. Actually, yeah, it's funny. It's
it's no different than
no
usual.
change for him.
Yeah, exactly. So now, where is it? Where's Dangent's thing? Oh, crap. Where's your thing, dude?
Oh, no.
Hold on.
Oh,
I'm on the wrong. No, that's the one.
I know where my thing is. I hope you know where your thing is.
I can't find your thing. Hold on. Oh my gosh, is it
Sing us a new theme, Dan. Give us a new.
Is this
Sing us a song. I'm the piano man.
Okay.
No, that's Brian. No, that's
You're back.
Oh my gosh, it's not here. How did I lose it?
Oh,
all right. Well,
how about this?
Sorry, Dan.
I'll give it to you
next week.
Be careful. May cause drowsiness.
Done. See, we'll just have you do that every time now. Forget it. We don't need the pre-recorded.
Greetings program.
Hey, it's Dan Patrice. He is our Dan, the tabletop man. Comes on usually our PM edition of the show, but you lucky regular old folks are getting Dan no matter what today. So take that. Dan, it's always good to talk to you. First of all, before we do anything, before we recommend any board games or tabletop fun or anything, I need to know, can you taste or smell things now?
So it's, I want to say I'm about 80% on both.
Okay.
So this past weekend, perfect example, this past weekend, I was in Indianapolis for some hockey, and we were at a Sun King brewery. So if anybody out there likes beer and likes cream ales and different types of beer, Sun King has some really good beer. There was a vanilla orange cream ale from Sun King, and I got a pint of it, and I could smell the vanilla like anything else, like any other vanilla in the world. I could smell it great. But when I went to taste it, it was just a beer. Like I couldn't taste the orange or the vanilla. So I'm still convinced that some of the artificial flavoring is still not translating into my taste buds as much, and still not getting there. But pretty much most of my taste is back. And
How do you
the
know
good
that
thing
it just wasn't a very strong flavored vanilla orange taste in there.
Well, I've had it before, so I know that. I usually get this at Gen Con every year.
Okay,
So
all right. So you've had it before. Okay, gotcha.
Oh yeah, and I would hope that it tastes pretty strong as it smelled. I mean, you could smell it from Denver, man. It was that
really?
strong.
That's
oh yeah, it was crazy.
But
great,
no other than
good.
this creeping back slowly to its normalcy. No other weird things have popped up. No strange secondary symptoms or anything.
Nothing weird, and this is kind of anecdotal. So I've been reading a lot of things that some people have been having kind of lung issues here and there. And I play beer league hockey on Thursday nights, trying to stay in at least a little bit of shape. So I have noticed that I get out of breath a little bit quicker, and I'm a little bit slower than normal to recover on after my shifts on the ice. So I don't know if that's just because I've been it's been a lockdown. We just started back to beer league about 2 months ago. So I mean, I've only been doing pickup and practice. So it could just be being a little bit out of hockey shape, or it could be a COVID thing. So obviously that's anecdotal, but I have been reading that people have been having a little bit of hard time catching their breath. So I think it may be some residual, in the lungs a little bit, some mucus in the lungs, where the transition of the O2 that I'm breathing into the bloodstream is taking a little bit longer than normal. So I'll keep monitoring that. But it's not bad. It just still sucks when you can't go as hard as you want to go on the ice, and you're just out of breath a little quicker.
Yeah. And you've actually played. I didn't realize you were like getting on the ice and playing and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's not full contact. It's old man beer league hockey, where the whole idea is to you just look forward to when the game is over, so you can go get to the cooler in the locker room. But yeah, I mean, we go pretty hard, and it's not full contact, but you go hard and have a good time. You're drenched when you're done because you get a good workout. But yeah, I play as well.
Well, that's awesome. I
wouldn't say is anything to do with how I play.
So you don't play as well. You don't play well as well. You just play as well. Okay.
I'm out there.
That's enough for me to be impressed. So don't stress too much about it. Well, all right. I'm glad that's getting better. That's the big thing. Is you're one of those people I know that had the COVID, and you think about your friends and you hope everyone's all right and all that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And I hope everybody out there that has had the COVID is, or is scared of it and everything else. I hope everybody's just a little bit more at ease every day. I mean, I know a lot more lockdowns. North Carolina, as of an hour ago, just locked down sort of again. It's just another one of those bizarre lockdowns that you wonder about. So here's what we have in I don't know if you guys have seen what we've got in North Carolina now.
No, other than barbecue. So tell me more.
Yeah. So, all right. So as of 5 o'clock or 4 or 5 o'clock, Governor Cooper has locked down the state kind of again indoor. So indoor gatherings of no more than 10 is what they're saying. However,
that's what we have too, by the way. Yeah.
Oh, is that what you have too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So restaurants are still 50%, and you can still go to Walmart, about 50% too there. So it doesn't matter, you just can't have dinner with. I mean, they say if your immediate family is obviously over 10 or more, you're not going to make you kick out a couple of kids to the curb.
Right.
But
Now,
no more than 10.
But you can take your family to Walmart if there are more than 10 of you and be just fine. Just can't
if you want to set up a table and have turkey dinner at Walmart.
So, okay, cool.
Well, I don't
so it's all nonsensical. I see in their reasoning, I'm not sure how sound it is. I haven't seen, again, a lot of the numbers are crazy but they said, we're not really worried about those outdoor mass gatherings. Are you insane?
Yeah. Yeah.
Any gatherings?
I don't understand
Yeah,
it either. So
exactly.
so in our state, we had a similar change. It was gatherings of no more than 10. And they also were super encouraging about don't have people that don't live in your immediate household there, that kind of stuff. And then you look at the exemptions, and one of them is church. And I understand everybody
that's also here too.
Everybody wants to go to church. I get it. But that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
You're all in church, and there's way more than 10 at the church. And so they got this weird, they don't want to ruffle the religious feathers, but at the same time, they want to screw with your total amount of it's freaking weird. I don't get it. Have one thing, make it hard for 2 weeks, fine, and then they'll be done with it. Let's just do it and be done with it.
Well, I would say we would need, and we're probably heading for in January. We're probably headed for another 2 months. We would need at least a month, in my opinion. But the problem is, it's still, again, you're not going to get a lot. Remember the last time when I said, you only get one good shot because people are going to lose faith in it. There's no telling. Again, people are going to be home. They've never been touched by anything. With the second they go back outside, it only takes 1 or 2 people in an area to start another supercell. Now, I don't know how religious you guys are. I'm a good old Catholic boy, and I love church like the rest of them.
Sure.
But my God, don't go to church. Are you crazy?
Yeah. Right.
Listen, if I believe in God, there may be people out there. I don't fault you if you don't. Listen, if there is a God, he don't care if I'm in one building or another.
Nope.
As long as I'm praying.
Yep. There you go.
Exactly.
Or I'm sorry,
he's totally
he or she.
Yeah.
So, I don't want
to. Wherever your tractor drives, that's Dan's right. If you think that it's somehow going to be better, I understand the need for fellowship and for community. Right. Those things, I miss a lot of that stuff. I really do miss it. But for just now, let's maybe have a time where you don't, so that you can one day have more of it again. That's all. Yeah. No big deal.
He's up there in his little imaginary cloud house saying, it's okay if you guys don't go to church today. Stay home, be safe.
Yeah.
Maybe do a drive up and honk your horn church.
Yeah. Mask up, stay safe. Or stay safe.
Are you ready for a tangent?
Yeah, give me a tangent.
All right, so
was this not a tangent?
No, we're tangenting from the tangent. So this kind of goes into my, when again, I'm speaking for God. I hope she doesn't mind. Right. So whenever we were talking about signing over the donating your organs thing, there's the big thing that I want to donate all the organs and save as many people as I can. And somebody was like, oh well, if God comes and raises your body, don't you want to have those organs? And I said, listen. If God comes down and raises me from the dead, I'm pretty sure if that's the least of my worries is the organs. Because if somebody can raise me from the dead, they're going to be able to get me the organs, no problem after
that. You're not wrong. Yeah. That's a good tangent. I enjoyed it. All right. Speaking of,
I hope I'm not kicked off the show. If
no. Don't you worry.
Are be all over me after this week.
No.
Let them send their emails from their
let them come in.
towers.
Everyone's a little fed up. Just let it roll in. There's other things to worry about right now, and the main thing is mask up, be nice to each other, and freaking do the best distancing you can and do what you can. All right, Dan. Let's say there's a whole big holiday coming up where some people might have some time off, and they're like, what would be great is sitting around a table with my family that I live with and playing a rad board game or tabletop experience. What did you bring this week to recommend?
You know what? If you are stuck in quarantine of some sort or another, unfortunately, this game's only for 2 to 4 players, so I probably should have thought ahead for the 10 and under players. But I went for a 2 to 4 players that's really good for the whole family. Mm-hmm. Scott, you're going to love this one. Oh, wow. And Brian, you will too, actually. You're going to both love this game.
All right.
This is called Meeple Land.
Oh.
I already like the name.
Oh, it's such a great game. I got to remember who. I think it's Blue Orange Games, I believe. Yes, Blue Orange Games. Okay. So very, very well known for family and also children's game. So Meeple Land, what you're doing is you're putting together an amusement park. With roller coasters, Ferris wheels and such. And you have this big old board. I think it's like 10 by 10 squares on there. And what you do on your turn, you're going to either buy a tile, you're going to quote unquote advertise, or you're going to pass. Now, the whole idea of the game is you're trying to get the most eclectic kind of amusement park there is with all the different rides. I think there's like 10 or 12 different rides of there's 4 squares, there's 2 squares, and then there's smaller ones as well out there. So on your turn, when you do buy a tile, each tile has a price on it. So you'll have some money in front of you. But what's really cool is there's going to be on the tile, there will be the ride itself, and then there's also kind of a walkway or road, and then you'll have kind of meeples on the one side where you're going to attract when people come in. You'll get kind of money or points, at the end of the round and at the end of the game, and you have to kind of connect. You have to connect the roads so that people can get to the different attractions from the front of the park.
Okay.
And what's really cool is, if you can have kind of dead ends here and there, but you'll lose some different points. And what advertising is on your turn, you can decide to advertise, and you pay $2 or $3 depending on the tile that is upside down at the time. And you'll bring in certain amount of, 1 or 2 color meeples and 2 or 3 different meeples of certain colors. And that's how they get into your place, because certain tiles with the different attractions will want either a green, a blue, yellow meeple or pink meeple. So depending on what meeples you want, you have to actually get them. So when you do pass, there are bus tiles. There's bus cards that come out each round. It's the number of players plus 1. So each bus has a certain amount of meeples on there. When you pass, you choose which one of the buses. So you may want to pass earlier if there's a certain bus that has exactly the color meeples you want, because that's how you're going to get more money for the next round. Okay. And you really want to kind of plan ahead so that you have some money to obviously buy the different attractions to fill up your your park. So depending on how many different attractions you have, you're going to get a certain amount of points at the end of the game. Very light, very cheeky, very easy to learn, very easy to play. I played this with my family a couple times and we just had a blast. Highly recommend it. Again, it's at Meeple Land by Blue Orange Games.
That sounds
this is very cool, and it looks like when you're done playing, you've got this whole big amusement park laid out on your kitchen table with like the pirate ship and the Ferris wheel I'm looking at. This is really cool.
And it's really cool because you can actually, like, when you're looking at it, you're like, and I'm sure, I don't know if you guys are big amusement park heads. Like, I can't get enough amusement parks.
I do like a good amusement park, I will admit.
You can almost like picture yourself walking through your little amusement park. I know that's kind of geeky, but man, I can't get enough amusement park because it's, you picture yourself coming around a bend and you're like, oh my God, there's the Ferris wheel or there's the roller coaster.
Yeah, it reminds me of
very cool.
What's the PC game that's so good? Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Roller Coaster Tycoon, yeah.
I love those games. I love feeling like I made my own park. And then
you guys have big amusement parks out in your states?
Yeah, Brian's got some big stuff, right?
We have Six Flags. Used to be, well, I guess it's not Six Flags Elitch's anymore. It's just back to being Elitch's. For about 3 years, it was a Six Flags park, but it's it's a very decent amusement park. Lots of rides.
Our big one is a place called Lagoon, which is north of me about 40 minutes, and it's a big park, lots of stuff, but the thing that sets it apart, or the thing that I always remembered about it growing up and even now, all the rides are good rides. They're all great, crazy roller coasters, weird stuff, loop-the-loop stuff, all the cool stuff you expect, but they're all second-hand German rides. So they weren't built here, made here, or bought new. They all had big tags on the back that said some German manufacturing company who made the ride in the first place, and then date of manufacture, and then there was like another add-on date of like, this is when Lagoon procured it, but they were never new. They were always a used ride that they would ship in. And I used to think that was so weird, but they all worked. No one died. It was great. It was no problem. They were clean. It wasn't like a carny kind of thing, but I swear every ride was some old German ride.
Well, and Six Flags is kind of known for kind of moving every few years. I think they move a few of their different roller coasters and stuff because I think they kind of make them that way so that they can pick them up and move them a little bit.
They're pretty modular.
Here and there, but
it's a huge pain. You got to have like a fleet of trucks and stuff, but still, it's like you could pick up and move a disassembled roller coaster to another state if you had to.
I mean, I went to Cedar Point a few years ago, and my God, did I love Cedar Point. And we went over 4th of July, which you would think like certain holidays would be way packed. Oh, it was like half empty. It was awesome.
Really? Yeah.
So
Cedar Point
good.
is one of these. I've never gone. We might have been planning to do that in 2020. We're probably pushing that out a couple of years, but basically doing a train ride that goes to from Denver to Colorado and then renting a car, Denver to Chicago and then renting a car from Chicago to get to Cedar Point.
Not the same as the Cleveland Steamer, everybody.
That's a very different thing.
Yeah, that's not a train, turns out.
That's not a train.
Yeah.
I tried to buy tickets, and you don't want to know what showed up at my door.
Nope.
Yeah, make sure Safe Search is on for that one.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, well, very cool. This Meeple Land looks like a winner to me.
And it's cheap. I think it's only like $30 at most or something like that. But I highly recommend everybody check that out. And Scott, like the rule book, it's got pictures and everything. You'll love it.
Perfect.
It's like it's 8 pages, but like half the pages are just pictures.
You're singing my song, dude. That sounds great. I have no trouble with it. Well, excellent. This is hopefully a good idea for a bunch of you out there who are trying to think of some good ideas for the holidays when you want to do some tabletop and pull the kids away from their Pokemon or whatever it is they're doing. Sounded old, didn't it? Get away from your
if you do Pokemon Go, that's pretty good for walking around with your family.
That's true.
Get some extra fresh air.
Yeah, I wish let me ask. Okay, Ibbot, here's a question for you. Pokemon Go, is it the kind of thing that if somebody in 2020, I'm not even talking about me, but let's just say somebody said, "Oh yeah, I heard about that, but is it too late for me to even like enjoy it? Am I way behind?" Can they still pick it up and go? And
they can totally, absolutely. And what's cool is you're going to get, or this person who you're asking for, will get all of the research task events all to finish as well. So like you'll be like, oh, okay, now get 5 to complete this thing, and you'll get a so-and-so character that was only available for a limited time. So
interesting.
You know, it's very, very easy to catch up, and you'll get, it's like you'll basically get a bunch of quests already in your quest log. If to make the World of Warcraft analogy, you'll begin the game with a bunch of great quests in your quest log to complete.
Oh, well,
and that's my favorite part of it, is all those millions of quests that are in the field research, because that's the fun part.
It is. It totally is. Yeah, exactly.
Well, okay. Well, I feel like we've gotten advice from 2 experts in their field today, and I'm gonna move forward with my life. Dan, always fun to hang out with you, man. Thanks for being here for our weird Thursday Friday episode that we're doing.
No, I love it. I'm glad I could be back. We're heading up to Philly again next weekend, unless they close Pennsylvania, which is entirely possible. But we got some more hockey. So you guys may appreciate this. So we just we just dropped the Geek All Stars this week. We just dropped an episode where we spoiled the hell out of the first 2 episodes of The Mandalorian, and like we like to do, I think our chat about The Mandalorian was longer than the episodes themselves. So everybody will appreciate that. So check that out.
How do you feel about eating? How do you feel about children eating small, unfertilized sentient frog eggs? How's that? How do you?
So here's my take on the whole episode. Not to spoil our the Geek All Stars. So my whole thing is, even mediocre Mandalorian is the greatest thing I've ever seen, and it's so good.
Episode. See, that's the thing, is I don't understand. People are offended by the eggs, but I don't understand why. Because I get the joke, and it's also, if you've ever had a 2-year-old, they eat everything, dude.
Yeah, they put everything in their mouth.
Right.
Yeah, but here's the thing too. So the baby Yoda is like what, 40, 50 years old,
50, yeah.
And you try to put that into human percentages of whenever Yoda passed away. So he's probably like mentally wise 5, maybe 7 years old. So he kind of knows, but even that, I mean, I'm not even worried about, like, I'm not offended or anything like that. It's the fact that, like, the running gag the whole time was that he constantly had one of those. You know, the baby constantly had one of those, and it was like, all right, enough, we get it. It's funny. And then yet at the very end when Yoda eats another one, I was like, all right, that's very, and I was cackling. So like, it's still funny and it's still good. The episode itself, I don't care if they have the Monster of the Week episodes. That's fine. I don't give a crap. It's just like, I think the problem was episode 1 was so damn good. I mean, it was ridiculous. Timothy Oliphant, bring him back.
Amazing. Bring him back all the time. I don't think he's done.
His own spin-off show.
Yeah, I think he'll be back anyway. But my whole jam, all of it is good. There was nothing I hated about the first season either. Bring me Monster of the Week. I don't care if somebody perceives an episode as weak. This is Star Wars for me now. This is it. Like, it made me forget about those 3 sequels. I don't even care about those anymore. Don't even care about the last.
I just want like 15, 16. Or give me 100 episodes. I just don't want. I never want it to end.
What Patreon level do we have to pay to get 100 episodes, just to get an every week, no seasons, none of this stuff?
Yeah.
Give us an episode every damn week.
Just binge 100 episodes all at once. I'm sure that's a healthy mental thing to do.
So good.
Dan, it's always a pleasure. Geek Jock Blog on Twitter, and of course, check out his shows and all that other stuff. Dan, have a fantastic week.
Be good, boys. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you soon.
I hope you can smell your turkey. I'll see you later. Smell your turkey. Okay.
Smell my turkey.
Well, you smell my turkey.
I decided I'm going to butcher my turkey
Oh yeah.
Separate the breasts and the thighs. Get them in separate. Put them in separate Ziploc bags.
Yeah.
Sous vide them.
Yeah.
Put the rest of the turkey in a pot and cook it overnight to boil it down to make gravy, and have sous vide turkey with carcass gravy.
Oh, geez, that sounds good. I'm all in on your plan. I would like to come over. I'll see
Cool.
you in
Carcass gravy.
Carcass gravy.
Carcass gravy.
Okay, a couple of quick things. I launched
Yes.
a contest on the instance that won't happen until the week I get back. But I wanted to let everybody know that we're giving away an entire decked out NVIDIA 3080 based gaming rig from Doghouse Systems and Intel. It's like a little joint thing they're working on. And it's got, this thing is just like massively spec'd. And I talked about it on the show today. So if you listen to the instance, you'll hear all about it, but there'll be more to come. Anyway, if you're interested and you're in this audience and you're like, oh man, I could use a new gaming PC, we're going to give one of those away on the 27th at 7 p.m. Mountain Time on a special stream where we're going to give a bunch of stuff away. But that's the big ticket item, and I cannot wait for someone to get it. This thing's like a $3,000 rig. Like,
That's so cool.
Nice.
Oh,
very excited. And also, Brian Schmibbit is not allowed to.
Wait, no. Brian Ibbett is not allowed,
Oh.
but Brian Schmibbit is definitely available to.
I don't want to discriminate against all these Schmibbits, but yeah. Anyway, it's going to be good. So watch for that. Also, there will be a film sack this weekend. Despite what I said, I screwed up on my brain on last episode and didn't get my dates right. So we are here this weekend. It's the next weekend we're not here. So
That's right. That's right.
Tomorrow
League
show,
of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
That's right. We celebrate the life and death of Sean Connery with the film he hated making the most by watching it together.
Pay tribute. Let's not celebrate we'll
Yeah,
celebrate
that's
his
true.
life and pay tribute to his death.
The
How's that?
last thing he made too. So
I know. What
watch
the
for
heck,
that,
man.
It's a long time to not make a movie, actually, between then and when he died. But anyway, so
Yeah.
that's this weekend. And a reminder that I'm not here next week, so there are no TMSs Monday through Thursday, and we'll be back the following week. So don't stress yourselves about it too much.
What?
I know.
Why didn't you put this out? Like, why didn't you say this anywhere?
Why haven't I mentioned this earlier, you're saying?
Why did you mention this anywhere else?
I don't know what came over me. I should have.
Why am I just finding out about this now?
For all of you that are like Brian is pretending to be, now you know, okay? There's no shows next week, and we're going to miss you guys, and maybe I'll record something fun while I'm out, but for all intents and purposes, no structured shows next week. All right, so that's it. Patreon.com/TMS is how you support the show, as you know. Thanks to everybody who already does. Frogpants.com/TMS for everything else. Brian, let's get out of here. We need song to go. What do we have?
Well, we have a song going out to Monica. Happy birthday today, Wicked Kitten. She does so much for the show, especially, when we have our play dates, our Patreon play dates.
Mm-hmm.
She is working harder than anybody else by a factor of 10 because, we're playing games. She is like getting people loaded into the game, helping them out, giving them the code, making sure they're set. She's the best. And we thank her and really
We
hope she
think
has
the
a
world of
wonderful-
her. She's awesome. And also thinking about her mom, who also has COVID, and we hope she's okay.
Oh, right. Yes. Yes. She writes in and says, Dear Shogun and Baron, it's that time. Are those two of Trump's sons? It's that time again. It's my birthday month. And with that comes my annual request letter update and song combo. So for those of you who love continuity, this one's a doozy. This year's been rough for all sorts of new reasons, but in the end, I feel like things are moving in the right direction. I finally cleaned up my life and set up my home studio. If you build it, they will come. I started developing my dream podcast, and while I was doing the work, I somehow became a new host on two Blizzard game podcasts. I'm happy, I'm excited, and I'm exhausted. This email is 1/4 less funny because I'm sleepy, and I'm even writing this letter while half asleep. That's too much math for me, so I'm going to just let you enjoy the silence.
Oh.
Long pause. Could you please play Enjoy the Silence by Love Cannon? Words are very unnecessary, unless you're a podcaster, and then that's all that you do. You guys sound kind of sparkly. Love you guys. Signed, Monica, Wicked Kitten 13.
Nice. Happy birthday, Monica.
You got to play that.
Oh,
You
I got
guys
to play that?
sound
Is that the
kinda
rule?
Sparkly. Yes, right.
All right, hold on. Freaking now. I got to go find it. Just a second.
Search for sparkly.
I wasn't ready. Okay, sparkly. Here we go. Sparkly. Here it is. I found it. Oh, we got to make sure sound's piping through there. Boy, it's a long process. Okay, there it is. Now we got it.
You guys sound kind of sparkly.
There you go. Naked Daryl in his bed, sounding sparkly.
I just don't need to know. This is from Love Cannon, who followed up their two greatest hits albums, the only two albums they released that were both greatest hits albums, with a third album called Cover Story, came out in 2018. Here is Love Cannon and their cover of Depeche Mode's Enjoy the Silence.
See you guys soon. This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Frog Pants Network. Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
Narp.
Narp?
Narp.
I do